Yes, people, if you are looking for a quality, vintage, modern, classic football shirt, get yourself over to okjersey.com. Selling shirts for around £15 and shipping to Europe with orders over £50. Make sure you treat yourself. Use the discount code BBN for 8% discount. Get yourself a new modern vintage Everton shirt. Treat yourself to something weird and wonderful. Treat yourself to a kid's kit, whatever you want. Make sure you get yourself over to OK Jersey. Sizing is literally on the website, just there. The price ranges are there. The sizing is there. You can pick your patches, your standards, your player numbers, the works. Treat yourself. Get yourself over to okjersey.com.
Yes, people, what is going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again, and this is your match preview. Manchester United against Everton, 8 o'clock kickoff Monday night. Watch along. We'll be live on the Blue Boys Network from 7:45, so make sure you come over and watch us. Big shout out to our sponsors, okjersey.com, BBN for 8% discount. Aviate, where we have got some new watches we need to show you, so get over to them on the link in the description. And Flyers, of course, where we will be there for Everton's next game against Newcastle. But of course, Flyers is fantastic for golf, so go and treat yourselves to a game, get some Christmas parties booked in. It's just a good day out. It's just a good day out. And anyway, look, John, we're back. No more international breaks now for, I think, 11 game weeks. 3 months in real football talk. Are you glad to be back?
Yeah. You know, I want us to go back now. Listen, as you just said there, you're quite right with what you say. We've got a good run at it now. We've got a good go at it now. 2 decent performances. Sunderland and Fulham are coming on the back of them. We go up against the Man United team, listen, who have found a bit of form. But, listen, it's not the Man United of old, and it's not a fixture where in the past we've gone, shit, we've got Man United at Old Trafford, and it's not as daunting as what it was. And as I've said it on here many times, and I'll say it again, you know, if Everton can turn up and we can put the performance in that we know we are capable of, and, you know, in bits this season, we've seen the performance that we are capable of. I go to Old Trafford, mate, and I think we can get something out of this game.
I think it's a difficult game.
Oh, mate, yeah, it is. It is a difficult game. It is.
But I do think it's a game where if Everton get it right, I think we can cause real problems. You know, if we can get the ball into Enjoy and he can, you know, just cause problems, and we get the ball into Grealish and he can cause problems. We know we've got the energy in the middle of the park. I think the big thing for me is it's those goals. You know, where's the goals coming from? Are they going to be reliant on set pieces? Are we going to be reliant on, you know, Barry scoring? Because I suspect that Barry still starts. And it's a game where that feels like if Barry was to start and get a goal, this is the sort of place where his confidence would go through the roof. It would be the opportunity for him in front of 80,000 fans. It feels like a big game for Barry for me, because, you know, Manchester United defensively, you know, they're not brilliant, but they're not terrible either. But if Barry can get in the game, can cause problems, then we're in for a decent performance, I suspect.
Listen, we've seen what Barry is capable of, and we keep going on here about the miss, you know, the miss against Sunderland and the performance he put in against Sunderland. Yes, it did tail off after he missed that. But then you look at the performance he put in against Fulham, and I think if Barry can go into this game following on from them 2 performances, for me, all he's missing is a goal. And you're quite right with what you say. What better place to get your first goal at Old Trafford? And I think with the way he's been playing with the last 2 games, if he could get that goal, I think his confidence would skyrocket, mate. I think it'd go through the roof. And, you know, I don't think he's going to be a prolific goal scorer, but he does need a goal. And what better place, as you quite right with what you say, got a tough run of fixtures coming up now. If he could get that goal at Old Trafford and put another performance in that we have been seeing lately, I think it will do him the world of good, and I also think it'll do his confidence good, but it'll also make David Moyes look at him a bit more, because we've seen he took him off at Sunderland and he wasn't happy. We've spoke about that on here. And then he took him off at Fulham, and whether that was for the adulation because he got a great round of applause, and he did appreciate it because he put a message out on social media. I think now Barry's got to go to the next level now. I think he's got to go to the next level with his performance. I think he's got to be more consistent. I think he's got to do it for longer in the game, because let's be honest about it, Barry hasn't really played well for one half of football, but we've seen what he's capable of. So I think if he can go into this game with a longer period of a better performance and take those chances, mate, because we've said, to miss an open goal like he did against Sunderland, yes, it was a bad miss, but he got there, mate. He knows where to be. He was in the right place. And let's be honest, I think if he can carry on getting in them positions when you get an ammunition from Ndiaye and from Jack Grealish, I think it is only a matter of time before he does get his first goal.
Yeah, I think it's really key that he uses the people around him to sort of just create a goal for him, and essentially he's got to tap him. He's never going to miss like he did at Sunderland again, I suspect. Or if he does, it's going to be rare. I mean, it was a bad miss. It was a bad miss. I mean, if you get two of them on the bounce, you've got real problems. So yeah. I think if we can, flash a ball across the box, then you never know what could happen. I was just looking at stats, and Everton actually concede on average less goals than Manchester United. Manchester United concede 1.6 goals per game, whereas Everton concede 1.1 goals per game. So defensively, we're better than them, but they also outscore us. As we know, they've scored 19, we've scored 12. So this is a game that if Everton score, they'll be in the game. If they don't score, then it could be 2-3-0. And that's the unfortunate thing about Everton. I'm looking at the scores. 4-0, 2-0, 2-0, and that's just in the last 3 appearances at Old Trafford. We haven't scored a goal. So I think we've got to go there, and it's got to be almost like a Sunderland-like performance. Not necessarily dominate, because I think that's difficult, but go there and not be scared to put our stamp on the game and to be bullish about what we're doing and to play through the channels. And we've got a team that is capable of getting a result at Old Trafford. There's no doubt in my mind, to be honest.
I think we've got to put the Sunderland performance and the Fulham performance together. And if we can do that, we have a chance. As you say, they're not great at the back, and Barry does need a ball flashed across to him. Listen, we've seen Barry score. Yes, it was ruled out for offside, but again, he was in the right place at the right time. And as you said there, if he can get in the right place at the right time and use the likes of the ammunition off Grealish and Ndiaye, then he will score, mate, and the goals will come. But I want to mention David Moyes, mate. As Everton manager, playing against these so-called big teams, I don't actually think he's ever won at Old Trafford as a visiting manager. Now, he's got to put that hoodoo to bed. He's never won at the Emirates. I don't think he's ever won at Anfield. And I don't know whether his arse drops out of him, but I'd like to think he'll go there on Monday, knowing this team's capable of a performance, and go for it. Yes, don't leave yourself open at the back, because Man United have got players who can hurt you. Fernandes has found a bit of form. Casemiro's rolling the years back. He's been absolutely brilliant the last couple of weeks. Obviously, you've got Cunha, you've got Mbeumo. Man United spent well in the transfer window, and it just, I think if they were playing under a different manager, Man United have got the squad of players there to be a lot higher in the league than what they are. They've bought well, they've strengthened well, and they've got a mix. Man United have got a mix of experience, they've got a mix of youth, they've got a mix of good players, but they've got a mix of seasoned pros as well. And I think if Everton are going to get anything out of this game, David Moyes, in my opinion, mate, I think it's a massive team selection for him and massive tactics come just before kick-off on Monday.
Going into the team selection, then, what is yours, my friend?
I'll go Pickford, Mikalenko, Michael Keane, Tarkowski, James Garner, Idrissa Gana Guy, Kieran Dewsbury, all Illiman and Dye. Who'd you play on the right? And this is the problem you've got. You know, Jack Grealish. But I've seen something today. David Moyes wants to start giving Tyler Dibble more minutes. He's open to give him more minutes. I don't think he throws him in at Old Trafford, in my opinion. So, listen, I go much of a muchness with the last two games that we've had. Fulham, we've seen the performance. You know, Everton deservedly won that game. Obviously, Barry has to start. Kieran Dewsbury, all Inman and Dye. Idrissa Gana Guy, he won't take him out the team, but I'd have no problem starting Tim. I'd have no problem starting Charlie Alcaraz, because I think they've put performances in when they've been called upon as well. So listen, there is options to change it, but I do think he goes with his tried and trusted. You don't see many changes.
Yeah, so for me, I'll go Pickford in goal, Mikalenko. I'll go with the two centre halves, Tarkowski and Keane, and I'll go with James Garner at right back. I'll go with Tim alongside Garner as the two holding. I'll go with the normal middle three, Grealish, Njai and Dewsbury all through the middle. And then I do go with Barry up front. But I absolutely agree with the points you make about Tyler Diblin, Charlie Alcaraz. I'll put them into that bracket as well. If they're going to be part of this team and play, they've got to start getting minutes from somewhere. Do I think Man United's the right game certainly for Tyler Diblin? I don't know, because
no, it's not.
It'd be going up against a very decent fullback in, I suspect, Luke Shaw, potentially, if he's not injured. So, you know, he's not going up against someone that's very easy to run past in a straight line, etc., or somebody else who's equally easy. So, look, I don't know, but what I would say is, you are right. We've got to start seeing these players more. We've got, you know, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Julia or the Sky Sports guy on asked a question, and he mentioned about average age, and he mentioned about the fact that we've made less, I think it was substitutions or less team changes than any other team in the league. And when you look at that, there's pros and cons to it. One, you get a consistent model, you get the same tactics, but we know that for some of these games, the tactics haven't worked. So for me, we've got to be looking at ways of changing it up and to go into each game differently. And that is a criticism I do sometimes have of David Moyes, if I'm being honest. He doesn't do that. But for Fulham and for Sunderland, I felt like he did change it. You know, he stuck James Garner in at right back. He made the substitutions at times in Sunderland where I felt like we needed it. Don't get me wrong, he did make a couple too late as well. But I just feel like if David Moyes can evolve, this team can evolve, then we will evolve. And I'm hoping that is what gets us a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford.
Mate, I think David Moyes has got to learn from his mistakes with his substitutions. I mean, Dwight McNeil sticks out for me like a sore thumb. I'll never get over that until the end of the season. So he's got to stop stupid, substitutions like that and give these players minutes who aren't getting minutes. Yes, Tyler Diblin doesn't start at Old Trafford. The only way he probably comes on is if Everton are 3-0 up, or we're getting beat 3-0 just to give him minutes. There's no in between putting Tyler Diblin in at Old Trafford. There really isn't. Then we play a Newcastle team, do you give him minutes there? So Tyler Diblin's got to start doing it in training. Charlie Alcaraz has got to, for me, show that he can do it from the off and not be a better substitute, not be a better impact player than a player who starts games. So they've got to give David Moyes questions. They've got to ask David Moyes questions, make them, stand up and say to the manager, I should be starting. They've got to do it in training. I do think Charlie Alcaraz at the minute is a better impact player. I think he's better when he comes off the bench. We haven't seen much of Tyler Diblin. When we do, I don't know. But I think David Moyes has got to get it right as well, mate, because we've said on here many times this season, substitutions leave a lot to be desired. His in-game management, his in-game tactics, are a lot to be desired. But I do think not so much the Sunderland game, yet he got some right, but he got one horrendously wrong, in my opinion. But then we go to the Fulham game, and I thought his substitutes that day and his in-game management were practically spot on. So we know he can do it. It's just bringing the right players on at the right time, putting them in the right positions. We know he can do it. We've seen it at Fulham, but we don't want to see another debacle of a Dwight McNeil like we did at Sunderland.
Yeah, it was a shit show. John, score prediction. I've given mine 1-1.
I go 0-0.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Everton are struggling to score, as we all know. We don't know where goals are going to come from, but we have looked a lot better, especially with James Garner right back the last game, you know, and Sesko's not pulling up any trees. He's touching goal if he's starting as well. So I go for a 0-0. And listen, I'll be happy get a 0-0 there and get 3 points off the barcodes next Saturday. 4 points from Man United and Newcastle. You take that, mate.
Which actually 8 points in 12 then as well, which
yeah.
bearing in mind you've gone to Sunderland as well, which is a tough place to go, you know, fourth best defence and all that. So yeah, mate, I completely agree. If you'd have offered me before those 4 games 8 points, I'd have took them. I'd have took them all day. I'd have shook your hand for them.
Well, we're struggling to score goals as well.
So yeah, right. Look, we will leave it there. As we said at the start, a watch along. That's 2 watch-alongs in a month, pretty much.
I tell you what, the way these fixtures are coming out for Everton, mate, there's going to be a lot more.
There will. You're right. You know, it's absolutely scandalous. So yeah, look, plenty of watch-alongs are coming, guys. So make sure you support and share with your friends and family. Tickets are still available for the Neville Southall evening. We're going to be doing a competition on Monday. So if you buy a ticket on Monday, or let's change that. If you buy a ticket between now and Monday, I will do a competition with you for, I don't know, a prize. What should we give them, John? A signed photo of your face?
A night with your wife. Oh, you're not.
We will send
folks.
We will send you a Blue Boys Network mystery box. With some merchandise and whatever. So get yourself a ticket between Friday and Monday, you know, the weekend, and we will hook you up, brothers and sisters, and anything else you identify as, whether it's a cat, a dog, a tree, I don't know. Right, we will see you soon. Up the toffees, keep smiling. Peace. Can never